In this week's video, we're going to make a Minecraft themed kendama, see how it works out playing with a cube. Also, this one's dry now. Remember we made this chain chomp kendama last week, but didn't get to try it because the paint was tacky. So we're going to see how this chain affects the play. And I usually in the videos include a printable PDF in the description. You click show more, whatever it says, and then you're going to see a link and you can print out some blueprints and plans for this week's project and the other projects that we've done. So anyway, I hope you guys try this out. If you do, send me a picture of it. I want to see what it looks like. I think that's it. Anyway, let's get started. All right, here's the wood that we're going to use. My neighbor was chucking this out. He makes some cabinets, and I just grabbed it and thought it would make it for a good project. Also, we're going to base the dimensions loosely on this. This is my son's. It's Yomega, and look what he showed me the other day. It's made in China. Isn't that funny? Anyway, so this, you know, again, loosely based. This ball is bigger than the cube that we're going to use for a ball. Let me show you here. This is already a square, so I'm just going to chop that into a block and use this. That works. This is what I'm going to use for the handle. It's close to a square. I just need to cut that off. Let me tell you the dimensions here, just so you know. It's going to be 3/4 inch. And then I'll square it up so it's a 3/4 inch square. This one is 1 3/4. And also then, boy, you know, I got lucky. So I'll use these for, instead of cups, you know, a ball would fit in a cup, a cube's got to fit on a platform. So this is going to be really weird. So I'll use this wood here for the platform. And I don't know what the finished dimensions are, but I'm starting out. It's about 2 inches wide and just under 3/4 inch. So we'll get all this cut up. Also, what you want to think about is you want to use a harder wood than normal. If you can dig your fingernail into it easily, that's probably too soft, because you know, these are going to take some abuse and you want it to hold up as good as it can. So pick a harder wood. Something like oak is really hard, but it's just a little harder to cut as well if you're using hand tools. And that's about it. It just takes a little bit more time with hardwoods. All right, so let's get to the table saw and run some of these pieces through and cut them up. Now, if you start with a square piece of wood, you don't need to do this step. But I've adjusted the fence so that it fits perfectly here. Look, there's no real room between the blade and the fence. So that way when I turn it to the side I do need to cut, I didn't have to measure anything, and it's going to be a perfect square. And I'm going to use a push stick. When you're using a table saw and your fingers don't have any room to move, you do not want to get your fingers near here. That's why this zone is painted red. It's kind of telling you steer clear. So what this is a push stick. It's got a little groove in here. And you could just make your own out of wood, but it allows you to push the piece of wood straight through without getting your fingers near the blade, because that's bad news. All right, so here we go. I got my safety glasses on, and let's get going. Okay, there we go. There's one block. And might as well do another one. In case I decide to make 2 of these, I don't have to set all this back up. All right, here's our block, and here's our wood handle. So I've guessed about 1 1/4 inches for the spike to go in, and that'll end up right there. You can see how much room there is to the end of the cube. So I drew a line around. Also the handle, I'm just guessing maybe another 4 inches from this line. So I'll just go down there. So here's where I'm going to cut. Is that in the half? Maybe I can get 2 handles out of this. Let's see. So total length is 5 1/4. And I have, yeah, I can get 2 out of this, so that'll make 2. All right, now this is the wood I'm going to use for the platforms. We're going to do platforms instead of cups. And I think I need to plane this down. This is, yeah, over 1/2 inch. I'm going to do 1/2 inch thick platforms. So let's take this to the planer and make it the right depth. All right, you can't beat this for making life easy for you. Taking this down, it's such a smooth finish, you almost don't even need to sand that at all. So here's what ends up shooting out of the machine. See all these little shavings. What it is a blade that goes around and just cuts, and it's pressed against rollers so it keeps it nice and flat. All right, I can't remember exactly what we decided last time for the dimensions, but I think it was 1.5 platform and then a 1 3/4. So here's 1.5. And the blade will be about there. And then let's just go. All right, now I'm going to cut the platforms down. I'm going to cut a 1.5 inch and a 1 3/4 inch piece. And again, I'm going to cut really slow. Here's the 1.5. And now it's time I'm going to take down the handle to the right length. Easy cut. All right, let's take a look at everything we've done so far. This is the handle. And off camera, I cut a couple pieces, this same stock of wood, just chopped a few cubes. You can see it's the same thickness as the handle wood. And these pieces are going to offset the platforms like that, which are going to act as cups. Then I cut up just a cube of this piece of wood, and I think this is 1 1/4 and something. Doesn't really matter what the measurements are, just cut a little cube there. And that's the block. So that's how this is all going to work. What we need to do now is to cut this down. And I know a lot of you aren't going to have power tools or a table saw, which is what I'm going to use, but you can do it this way. So remember, we're going to cut this into a smaller piece. What you do is take your saw here, cut a little bit down there, cut a little bit down there, cut a little bit down there, and then just kind of chisel it off each edge. And that's how you can do what we're going to do right now on the table saw. Let's go over there. I want to take off about that much. On all sides. That looks about right to me. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, what I'm going to do is lower this blade here so that when I pass through, it just goes to that edge. So let me put this piece of wood down. Okay, you can see that as I pass this through, it's going to be right there that I'm going to cut, but as I pass this through, the teeth aren't going into this centerpiece, which I want to keep. So I'm just going to turn it, cut it, turn it, cut it, turn it, cut it, until I got a nice cut all the way around. I wait for the blade to stop, then I line up the cuts again. Let me show you what I'm doing. So for the next cut, which is this last side, I'm going to turn it. See, this side's down. Then I can push the blade right up into where it needs to go. And I turn on the saw. Okay, so here's what we end up with. You can see I didn't do a perfect job. Doesn't really matter. Don't get hung up on it. So what I'm going to do now is just keep doing the same thing all the way up and removing all that material. Okay, this is what it looks like. This is all just table saw going back and forth to notch that down. And that's a little burn from the blade of the table saw there. Doesn't matter because we're just going to paint it. All right, let's go back to the workbench. All right, what we're going to do now is probably going to be the hardest part of this project, but it's really not so bad. We're going to put a square hole in this cube. If you go corner to corner, you're going to be able to find the center. I should use something stronger than this flimsy piece of paper, but okay, corner to corner. You know, you make an X, and there you go. That's the center. Now you can't just do a drill bit and have a round hole, and it would make it a lot easier playing this, but I want to try a square hole. So, two options. Drill bit and then shave off the corners, which I bet is what everybody's going to do. Or you can use a square drill bit, and I'll show you that. And so here's my drill press, and if you don't know what a drill press is, it just is a great way to drill holes. Nice and straight and controlled. And attached is a interesting drill bit here. So what you have, let's see that spiral cut drill bit, and it's encased in this square shaped chisel. So what happens is when you push this lever down, the drill bit goes down, which is spinning, but this outside stays stationary. The drill bit starts drilling the hole first, and then the chisel follows, making it a square hole. And I messed around with this. I've never really ever needed to use it, and unfortunately this size is not the right size for what we need, but let me just show you how this works anyway. You might find it interesting. All right, here we are all set up. I did a couple test holes. The wood wants to move around, so I clamped it down, and I put a little clamp on here to stop this piece from spinning. And you know, I've never needed to use this bit before. I've never seen anybody use this. I don't know the directions with it. I have no idea. So don't go by what I'm telling you here, but I just wanted to show you how it works. I can at least do that. I put a couple washers in here so that when this spins, it's not spinning right on the outer casing of this bit. So let's zoom in. I'm going to turn it on. I think you'll find it cool. All right, and I bet there's a depth that you should go to, but I don't know that. You know, I really should have looked this up, but I didn't plan on showing any of this anyway. So here we go. Let's turn it on. Okay. You can see the bit down there. So what we got, this is a soft wood, so it's not as beautiful. There we go. You can see way down there where the chisel stopped, but all this exposed is a square hole. And sadly, I don't have one this big, so I'm going to do it the normal way. All right, here's what we have now. I have this square here. I drew an estimate around how much extra room I'd want to have for this peg to fit in. And this ended up being 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, which is, if I'm not wrong, 7/16 about. And so my guess of how much extra room turns out to be about 5/8. So I have a 5/8 inch spade bit, and that's nice because it's going to keep it centered right there. I'll drill a clean hole. Then I'll clean up the edges as best I can with a chisel. And I think this will probably go too close to poking through. So I'm going to stop and then do a little extra work there. So anyway, let's drill this hole. I don't know that we've ever spent any time talking about how drill presses work. This one's variable speed, but inside you can see there's gears and you have to move the band around. This is a little bit cheaper, but it works really well. I'm happy with this one. When you pull this down, it pushes the bit down. Just stab that there. This table it's on can adjust. What else? Here's the depth gauge, so I can stop. I've set this. When I turn this, it's going to stop exactly where I want. And what's nice about a drill press is it drills perfectly straight controlled holes. Now, I know a lot of you don't have one, so you don't need one. You can just use a hand drill. So don't worry about it. But I like to show you different tools, so that's why I'm using this one. So let's get drilling. There we go. All right, now if my chisel's sharp enough, which it probably isn't, this should cut a little easy. Let me just get it going a little bit by pushing in, rocking it. There we go. I'll do this edge here. Just softly getting these started. I'm just going to go straight down. Get this side if I can. It's not, it doesn't want to move. Let's try this one. There we go. Out. All right, so I'm just gonna keep going here, chiseling this out. You get the idea. I'll skip ahead. So how I'm gonna attach this is I'm gonna drill a hole through this block, drill through a hole through the handle, and drill a hole halfway into this platform and insert a dowel. Okay, and I'm going to do another one on this side, and then another little dowel like that. So that way it's nice and strong. If you don't want to do that, you could just do a screw, as long as you drilled a pilot hole. Do a screw through here and a screw through there and a screw through this. You know, whatever you want, whatever's easiest for you. But let's get started on drilling a few holes for this. This part's not too bad. This should be fairly secure because it's such a long dowel. Compared to the others anyway. I'll put some on this surface. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it's square. This doesn't really need to be clamped. If you have some big gaps in yours, you'd want to clamp it, but I'm gonna leave this one. Just brushing off some of the extra glue that's squirting out here. Straighten it up. There we go. Okay, that's done. Okay, that looks all right for now. And we'll do this one. Now this one I didn't drill as good. There's a, you know, you can see it's off center. But that's okay, I'm gonna use it anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now let's get this locked in, and this I am gonna clamp because it is pretty big. There's a lot of joints here. Put some down in here, and it's probably gonna start gushing. I think I used a little too much. Okay, so make sure everything's lined up so that these squares aren't, you know, like that. So I'm going to lay this down. That needs to come up. That's looking pretty good. All right, I'll put it in the vise. All right, this might be one of the more weird projects I've ever done. It's been a few hours now, so this should be nice and dry. I think that's fine. Seems strong. I don't think that'll have a problem coming apart at all. All right, now I'm just doing a little bit of sanding just to get it ready for painting. And I'm not going to spend a great deal of time doing this, just the worst parts. And you might want to knock down the corners just a little bit. I'm doing that here with sandpaper. It stops it from chipping up later. You know, sometimes you catch an edge and it will splinter off. But if you sand down the edges just so they're not so sharp, it makes it a little bit cleaner. Plus, it's not fun holding on to something with super sharp edges. All right, guys, I got some paints ready. We're gonna get painting. I got 3 paints picked out, a dark, medium, and light. That's all you need. If you wanna add in a few more tones, you can do that, but you really don't need many. And you can do the in-between tones by just mixing these two and mixing these two. So, you know, there's, I don't know how many shades. There's a lot of different shades, but you don't need to match all of those. And we're not going for perfect straight lines, so don't worry about it. This top is going to be a just this wood block that we did several videos ago. Sorry, my voice feels like it's getting really gravelly. I don't know why. Hope I'm not getting sick. Anyway, so it's just like that one. I know, not very creative. I should have changed it up a bit, but I want this to look like a wood toy. I didn't want to make this, you know, TNT or, you know, a chest or anything. I just wanted to have fun keeping it wood style, kind of a little bit more subtle. But you guys do whatever you want, have some fun ones. I think I'll do some fun ones later on, but for this first one, I'm just gonna do that. The sides are gonna be just this, you know, wood block there. Real simple. I stabbed a hole in the top, so I knew exactly, you know, I did the X trick and then stabbed a hole so I know where to drill. You might want to drill first and for your string, but that way I can paint over the marks and I don't have to worry about marks on it later. Here's the brushes we're going to use, and they're all fairly nice and clean. You don't want hairs sticking way out, or if you do have a brush like this, let me show you. See how the hairs are just all over the place? That's going to make a mess when you're painting. You're going to get paint everywhere. If you got a brush like that, throw it out. Don't use it, or use it for something else. You want nice clean brushes. You want at least one. Let me see, let me put this over the dark handles here. You want at least one that's kind of like this. That's going to be just the right size for doing these little squares. And I'm not worried about straight lines. I might put tape on again like I did the first block. I might not. Might just do it all freehand. Okay, what else? We talked about paints. You just need, you know, 3 shades at least if you're going to do it like this. Can use more. I got my paint mixing tray. These are acrylics, so you just need water to rinse off. And anyway, oh, okay, how we're going to start, because the rest of this is just going to be kind of fast forward. I'm going to do maybe a, not neutral, but since this is going to be bark on the sides, it's going to be this tone. So I'll probably mix these two and paint the whole surface like that. Then I can go in and add dark dots and then some light ones. Same thing here, kind of a mid-tone. I'll paint first, then I'll add some darks and then some lights. And that's it. Same thing for here. So let me get going. Let's have fun with this. I hope that's not too much talking, but I didn't want to leave too much unexplained. All right, let's go. All right, guys, here it is, and I think it came out pretty well. What do you guys think? There's a funny thing that happens when you're making this and you're painting it. You'll get, I don't know, 75% the way through the whole process. And until then, it looks like garbage. And you think, I don't know, this isn't going to look very good. This is kind of ugly looking. But then all of a sudden, it starts coming together. And it's usually towards the end. So don't get frustrated if you happen to paint it this style. You can obviously do however you want. I did no tape, no straight edges. This is all just hand done. And let me zoom in for you. You can see I didn't worry about making anything straight or, you know, rectangle or square. I just did dashes, just lines of paint through the whole thing. The closer you look, you know, you're going to see a little bit wavy lines. Some of them are a little crooked. It doesn't matter. You don't want to, you know, try too hard to make this look absolutely perfect, because if it's all just generally a little imperfect, it looks still really good. So this will be fun. So what I'm going to do now is put on a few coats of this clear coat. And we won't film that. We'll just skip ahead of that. It's just spraying it a few times. And then we'll put the string on. And what I like to do when I paint this, my new habit is to hang these up by a string. That way I can paint the entire surface every time. You know what happens when you lay it down and you spray it. You're only painting half, plus usually it's a little sticky on the bottom when you pull it up and it tears and messes up the paint. So I'm going to hang these up with a string, spray it a few times, and we'll jump right back. Okay, it's dry enough now that we can put the string on. And the string that I'm going to use, I had a pair of blinds I was going to throw out. You know how you pull these cords and this part here. You know, there's those Venetian blinds. Well, usually most people have a lot extra string, so if you're a kid, ask your mom and dad before you go cutting off some. But usually on my blinds, I shorten these anyway, and I cut off several feet. So whatever string you use, you want it to be braided and not twisted. See if you can tell the difference. You see that's braided? A lot of the ropes you'll see made are going to look, you know, like that. That's not the kind of string you want to use if it looks like that. You want to use something with a braid. Okay, so I already have the hole here, and let me show you a good trick for getting rope through, or string through. I keep calling it rope. All right. So I have a piece of thread here. I'm going to put it, it doesn't matter which way, through the hole. Like that. And then another piece, well, not another piece, the same piece, the other end of the same piece. See, I got a loop like that now. Then I put this through like that. And if my hole's big enough, I'm going to be able to yank it through. Let's see what happens here. Got it. So that's a trick that might help in case you need it. I don't want this coming off, so I'm gonna do a few knots. I'll do one more, why not? All right, there we go. All right, now I'm gonna measure, I don't know, somebody tell me. I'm positive somebody watching this knows more about these than I do. And is there an official length? Let me know. I'm gonna do about 15 inches. So hopefully this is the close enough length. So on this side, I'll zoom in. And when we tie it off, the knot's got to go somewhere. So that's going to go right here. So now I'm wrapping it around the scissors so it doesn't kill me. Last time I felt like I was gonna cut through my hand. All right, well that didn't work at all. I think the scissors, all right, let's try this again. One more time. I think the sharp edge of the scissor just sliced it right through, so that was kind of dumb. All right, you guys still watching? This end here. This end there. Okay, we got a loop. Okay, what should we wrap this on? Pencil? Let's try it. All right. Come on, work this time. If not, I'll just have to drill a bigger hole. I just want it as small as possible. It's coming through. There we go. All right, now let's see, what do we say, 15 inches? That's just a guess, and if I'm way off, somebody put a message in the comments section. And that'd be right there, 15 inches. I need to put a mark where to tie a knot. And let's see, what kind of knot? Just a regular. Just loop it through. That's probably, okay, good. Now I'm going to use a lighter because it'll stop it from coming undone. This is really handy. Okay, and that goes in there. Cram it in the hole. And the burnt part even almost matches the color of the wood. Isn't that nice? Okay, there we go. We are done. So I think I will get my nephew to try this again, and we'll see how good he is. I'll film it for you.
Practice first.
No, I want to film your first attempt.
Don't go and try this.
How's it feel compared?
Different.
Yeah. Oh! All right, here's my nephew, like I said, and he just happens to have a lot of friends, and they all know how to use this.
Yeah. Every kid in our
So
school knows.
every kid in your school. So this is way more popular than I ever knew.
Like, it was
They're that new?
at a sudden time that I just everybody 2 months ago was the time when everyone started playing.
Okay, well, when do you remember seeing them?
September.
Just last September? So that's crazy.
Goodness, this is harder than it looks.
I know. No, you throw it out. Oh yeah. Try and get it in the middle, like on where you
Frying pan.
What do you know? You're gonna say, Ivy.
Yay, I landed it. What's it called?
Spike. Broken net. Oh. Alien. UFO.
Okay, Aiden's gonna try the chain chomp kendama.
Oh, wow.
Good luck.
How are you supposed to land base cut?
I have no idea.
Oh, look how small base cut is.
Oh! I think hard. Minecraft is real good.
There.
There's the Minecraft.
Oh, so close. Matches your shirt.
I got this. Yes.
Yeah. And keep going. I wasn't recording. Aaron. All right. Here's Aaron, my son. What was your name?
Dominic.
Dominic.
Kid is better than all these.
Yeah, my nephew Aiden.
Gavin.
Gavin. Thanks, guys. All right.
The nephew is weird because sometimes.
Yeah, bye. Thanks for helping. Okay, guys, we are back in the basement. And I guess we could talk about how these things worked. Let's run back over here. Oh, and I'll tell you a bit about that in a second. So let's just start with this. This works pretty well. It's really hard. I thought it would be though, because the chain pulls on the ball, so the ball's just spinning so much more than it normally would. And you can't use the last lengths of this chain to secure it. After a while, it took a while, but it kind of breaks off. So just loop around the middle a little bit more to make it secure, and then that won't come off. Other than that, I think those boys did a great job. And thanks, guys, Aiden and your friends, for helping me out in this video. I went over there and I didn't know he'd have so many friends to help out, and man, they all knew how to use these pretty well. So this one worked out way better than I thought it would. I knew it'd be tricky because it's all flat, but it's actually more playable than I thought it would be when we first started. The problem with this string, it's too thick. You can't, you need a little bit more flexibility with this. So if that's all you got and you want to cut your blinds up and you have permission to do so, don't do it without permission. Then yeah, you could use it, but I think again, a braided string would work better, but it's got to be like half the thickness of this. But anyway, it's okay. I think this worked out great. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. We're not going to do questions and answers this time. We'll do that next time. But if you want to send me a question and you want me to answer something for you, you gotta either go to Facebook. You can put it in the comments, but sometimes I don't see those. Or email me at happyadamIRL@gmail.com, and that's ATOM. So anyway, this is my son Aaron's Pinewood Derby. He ran the table saw. I showed him how to do the table saw. And let me take these guys out. So this is the full block of the car. We didn't cut any off here or here. All we did, and I had him do it as well, I helped him a bit, but used the router to route that out. And took this car, where's the table saw? It's over here. Put it on the fence like this. You push it through, rotate it, push it through, rotate it, till you get that cut right there. So we got 3 mine carts. He did the painting, he put in the wheels. And no, we didn't win, but this was really fun. So you have Steve back here. And we hot glued these guys in there. It was pretty cool. I wanted to do a little redstone torch or something in there. I thought it would be cool, lit up. So put a little battery and everything there. We just didn't have time for that. But it was cool seeing this go down the track. Anyway, so good job, Aaron. And that was fun. Cub Scouts Pinewood Derby. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I think I'll put some plans. I mean, this is simple. Oh, one thing I wanted to say before we go. Don't think that you have to do this exactly like I did. You can go get wood that's already this shape. You don't need to use table saws or anything. You can go to the craft store and look for just, you know, wood that's... you can buy this. You can buy this piece right here. you know, what was this, 3/4 of an inch square, you're going to be able to find that. And if it's not 3/4, you can go, you know, 1/2 inch. Just do that. Make it simpler. So don't let some of these tools that I use intimidate you. They're not so hard to make, just, you know, with a little handsaw and some sandpaper. So I want to see somebody go for it. Somebody make one of these. And if you do send me some pictures, I'd like to see them. You can email them to me, or go to Facebook, send them, whatever you want to do. And what else, guys? Oh, okay, don't forget to subscribe if you like these videos, because it helps me out, and it knows, that way I know that people are interested. And if you have any more comments or suggestions for videos, you can leave those too. And anyway, yep, the Shield video's coming. I'm still trying to work with that hard drive. Sorry guys, it's been a pain, but hopefully I'll get it up real soon. Alright, again, that's going to do it for this one. I'll see you guys next time. Have an awesome day, and bye! Alright, let him have a try. Let's see what he can do. Hold on though, do you like Minecraft? Around the galaxy, paddle ball. He's doing paddle ball. He's doing walk the dog. He's doing pound the nail. Yeah, I am. I don't know. Excellent. Hand off. All right.